Go ahead.
Okay, so welcome everybody to the What Up Baltimore Red Carpet event. Those of you who are watching live, thank you for joining us. We want you to just join in on the celebration with us. We're just gonna move kind of fast, and we're gonna introduce everyone I think is here except one person. We're gonna introduce them, have them come up to say a couple of words. This is the magazine, the What Up Baltimore magazine. First, I want to bring my son up. Come up, Eric. So this is my son, Eric. I had no idea, as close as we are, that he knew how to do a magazine because he's been away at college for the past 5 years. And then he said, Mom, I know how to do a magazine. So Eric actually, all of the designs and everything, these are designs that he had to draw to actually put everything together. He did it digitally on his whatever program he has. But it's not like photocopies of pictures. He had to actually draw everything that's in here. So I think he did a really good job. And he did the layout of the magazine. I left him alone, and so he did everything that's in here. So thank you, Eric, for that. The idea of the magazine was not to have a magazine that you see, where you can look at the New York Times and you can look at certain magazines and they pretty much have the same format. So what my idea was to make this magazine where it really reflects Baltimore, because Baltimore is cultural. We like colors. We got Graffiti Alley. So the thing was to make sure that it had a lot of color to it and that it just reflects who we are in Baltimore, that we are kind of like just fun people. We like to do fun stuff. And so that's what you'll see throughout the magazine with the pictures. You'll see all different colors and all of that. So it doesn't look like your random magazine. And every time you see What Up Baltimore come out, it will look different. The cover will not look like this. It's always going to be different. And it's just going to reflect who we are as Baltimoreans. So the other idea with the magazine was to focus on the good things that are going on in our city in Baltimore. Because whenever you watch the news, even if it's national news, it's always something negative that's going on. It's always some kind of problem. So this magazine will always reflect all of the goodness, all of the good people, all of the great things that are going on in our city. So that's what the What Up Baltimore magazine is about. So thank you, Eric, for that. We are moving to, I just spoke with my web person last night. So in about a month, these will be digital, where people can actually subscribe to them through the website, and they'll be able to get them that way if they want to do it. Or like I've been doing, they pretty much sold out, and I'm so excited about that. They pretty much sold out. I only have a few left. People have been calling, so we've been mailing them. People have been picking them up. So I'm really excited about the magazine. So that's a bit about the magazine. And next person I want to call up is Ahmed. I'm going to call him up. Now, Van and I were having a discussion today because we were like, is his name Ahmed? Is it Ahmad? I said, I don't know. Sometimes I call him Ahmad. Sometimes I call him Ahmed. I don't know. I said, but everybody calls him King. So, I guess that's why. So we're going to call Ahmed up because he's on the cover of What Up Baltimore magazine for January. So come on up. And I really want to say something before he talks. We joke a lot, but every now and then you run across really, really great people. And I gotta say that he is a great person. Leroy McKenzie introduced me to him. Leroy and I always like passing people, we meet people, we pass them to each other. And he introduced me to Ahmed. So Ahmed was actually, we were talking about you doing a show at the radio station. And then he decided he wanted me to just come and we would do the interview at his office. And it started getting really popular where people look forward to every Thursday talking about finances because he makes it fun. And so that's what we started doing. So he would always tease me. He would be like, you next Oprah. And I would just be laughing. So one day I was leaving, he said, Oprah needs a magazine. And I was just like, yeah, Oprah has money, but I can't afford to do a magazine. So he basically told me to just write. He said, you write, you write, you write, I'll pay for it. And that's what he did. So that's how this magazine came out. Leroy and I, we wrote. And Eric did all the rest of the stuff, and Ahmed paid for it. So thank you for that. And I had to really thank him for believing in me because he knows my story. He knows my story, and it's been a little rough. And so when you find people who really believe in you, and they're like, I got you, don't worry about it. And that's what he did. It was no micromanaging. It was just like, go right. And he's opened the doors for me to meet a lot of great people. Mr. Irfan, I know it's not his turn yet, but when I met him and I was interviewing him, he just inspired me so much. Like, he has no idea. And it inspired me to really do my business that I'm doing now. Like, the things that he was telling me. And so thank you for that, because you introduced me to some really, really great people. So I'm going to step aside. They call him the king, and so that's why we have king on the front of it. He's the king of taxes and finances. So this is Mr. Matt Rayner right
here. Don't come here. We are lifetime sister brothers.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for the great introduction. And in life, we meet people.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes we meant to meet people.
Yeah.
It's a destiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a luck. Like, I give you a small story before I tell them about your story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on one of the biggest deal in my life. And any numbers, you can say millions,
mm-hmm.
10, 20, maybe $30 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
So when I met that guy 17 years ago, I was sitting in the back seat, and it was O'Malley, the governor fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't afford the $5,000 chair on the front. I did $500 chair sitting in the back. But I met the owner. He came to me, introduced me. He said, my name is Martin Resnick. And he's the owner of Martin East, Martin West, Martin Crosswind, So I say, my name is Ahmad Rana. He said, where are you sitting? I said, I'm sitting all the way in the back. He said, the way you dress up, you should sit next to me. So he made sure he put a chair next to him for me. And that day, my moment of life changed. That I said, look, I can do this. And that day I decided that's how I'm going to treat each and everyone I meet. I want to make sure they sit next to me, even though I didn't have money that time. It was $5,000 for that chair. But he made me that I'm a $5,000 chair guy that day. So same thing, we all got to be humble. This man might be $100 million guy. And now, after 17 years, when I came in real estate, last year I started this deal. So he said, I wouldn't laugh at you like you really think you can help me sell my empire. Mm-hmm. Now, hopefully, we are very close to sell that. Believing in yourself is the key here. Now, go back to your story. Thank you so much, Leroy, for introducing me to Charlene. And I always tease him, LJ speaks, But LJ not only speaks, he makes the right correction at the right time. So she came to my office. She said, come to the radio. I said, Charlene, I might come for one time, but I won't have a time to come every time. Why don't you come to my office and we start show on Thursday for 1 hour? And that's where, we meet Van and, we meet all the people. So the show start kicking up, like before, like 500 views, 1,000, 2,000. And then people, adding me, and they want to know about the money. So I keep telling her, you need to do something on your own. She said, I don't have money. I said, for the idea, you don't need money to spend. You need hard work to pay off. So when one day she came to my office, we had an interview. She said, I quit my job. I give them, I'm resigned. So I said, hallelujah, congratulations. And she looking at me like, what kind of person are you? I quit my job. How am I going to make money? I said, now it's time for you to start your own business and make your own money. That's where the word of Baltimore comes. So let's have a round of applause for Charlene one time. Then, then I believe in not just getting all the credit for yourself. You have to give credit to your friends and especially your family. Because when you need it, if you read the book where all the people die, but they have 7 regrets. I'm not going to go to 7. I know I don't want to take too much time. But number 1 regret they have, They didn't call their friends. They didn't spend enough time with their friends and family. Emails, phone calls can wait, but life won't wait for you. So that's where I keep my friendship and my family very close. And I'm very thankful to my father, Mr. Rana, that he's here today. And of course,
You said your father?
yeah, my father, Mr. Rana. I know he's a short guy, and I'm tall. But sometimes short package can bring the tall package too. So, and then, my wife, Dr. Sonia here. So, at GTMC. So, like 2010 when we got married, I was driving a Toyota Corolla, old car. Everybody told her not to marry me. I don't know what she looked in me. She married me. So she was in the last year of Towson University. And then, 2011, Aman born. So after that, she became a doctor. After marriage, handling the kid, handling me, I'm a package on my own. And then my parents, because we all live together. So let's clap for Dr. Sonia for my time. Then we talk about friends. Mr. Irfan Yaqub, an American name, of course, Jacob. He likes to get called by Jacob, Before he was clean shaved, he didn't have mustache, but now he has a mustache, So I met him 3 years ago. But the way we connected, he bought the house through me. He bought the warehouse through me. And he makes sure he gave 3 more deals. His brother-in-law bought the house for me. His brother-in-law sold the house for me. His sister. So meaning of the story, I just met one guy. But we become so much close friend that 6 more deals come to me. Just for my friendship, my relationship with him. So whenever we meet somebody, let's be humble. It's not about this guy, money or not money. It's all about giving each and everyone respect. Then you see Mr. Junaid Aslam sitting here, the owner of this place. Most humble guy. I used to have a restaurant. People used to come and tell me, you guys are competition. I said, no. Whatever Allah gonna give him, Allah will give me. Even though we had a competition in the restaurant, but we become so much close friend that I sold my restaurant, but I'm always here. He treated me like a family. Let's clap for one more time for him. And of course, LJ, Leroy. So I went to BPM, Black Professional Men. Being me, born in Pakistan. But I went over there, it made me feel like I belong to this group, Black Professional Men, because 80% of my clients are African American or Black. And it's only one color, human race. We all are human. We all look at the color, the race. No, we all eat the same way, we digest the same way. You go to the sleep same way, I go to sleep. Meaning of the story, you go to the group, they welcome me so much, like I felt like I belong to this group. So he met me in BPM, he introduced me to all the brothers, and now I can say I'm one of the black guy too. Maybe light skin.
Well, with some of your pictures on the wall, you do look black on the wall.
Thank you. So, and then, Baltimore is not only about negativity. Like we are sitting here full of the rooms like Van, John Hansborough, and, like everybody, Eric, and sorry, I don't remember everybody's name, but we all are here for passion to show the world Baltimore is not all about negativity. We have positivity here. Last but not least, I would say we all are special, but let's not just be special. Let's be influential, being an ordinary person. Thank you so much.
So next we want to call up Mr. Leroy McKenzie. Come on up, Leroy. So this is so crazy, everybody, but I'm going to tell you, I always say when it's your time and it's your season, it will happen for you. So I'll tell it real quick. I had 3 strokes and it left me unable to walk and talk each and every time. So after the 3rd stroke, I decided, okay, I can't go to work anymore. Couldn't do my regular job anymore. What am I going to do? I was really frustrated. So my girlfriend and I, we decided that what we were going to do is start going to networking events. We didn't know anybody. But my thing is, you know what? I know that I have a purpose and I'm supposed to be doing something else. So we started going to these networking events. Donnie Glover used to do them a lot, the Black Wall Street events. And I've been knowing Donnie forever. So I went to an event and Leroy was there. And this was, I know when it was. It was the beginning of 2019. It was like February of 2019. And I was just walking around. Leroy had his books. He was talking to everybody. There's lawyers there and all different kind of people on radio. I was actually talking to him. And it was you remember the couple that was there that had the radio station? Mm-hmm. I was talking to them because I said, I think I'm supposed to be on radio or talking to the media or something. And this was the beginning of 2019. We exchanged cards and I lost his card. I couldn't read, at that time I was still having short-term memory loss and I couldn't remember his name. So all of a sudden I see him on Facebook and we're just corresponding on Facebook. And it never clicked for a minute that this is the guy that I met that day until I was doing a show and on the show, and on the show, we were talking about black men and black women. We were talking about relationships and I was going in, like I was just, and Leroy is just texting, like his comments are just flowing down through the thing. And so my friend that was my guest said, you need to have Leroy on your show. And once Leroy came into the studio and we started talking, I'm like, I know this guy. And I remembered I met him in February of 2019. And when he came to see me, I was a partner at a radio station. And it was just so crazy how it happened. And then he introduces me to a man and it just became this connection. So now we are co-owners of the magazine. And so I just feel like, that's how that happens, And Leroy has been really great because I didn't know that it was so much work that went into doing a magazine. He did warn me and I didn't realize it. And at the end, I was just like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do this, but he really picked up a lot of the slack in the end. So thank you for that. Go ahead and say a few words, Leroy.
LadyJ speaks.
First, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you, everyone. It's crazy when you see things or you think of things and you meet people. And I'm the type of person where, like Ahmad said, I'm all about relationships. Anybody that knows me, I'm about relationships, especially when it comes to business. And just when it comes to life in general, being a personal person, I'm quiet. But a lot of people, if you ask them that, they'd be like, "Nah, he's not quiet." But I really am, because I'm not that dude that's gonna be out in public and everything. But I try to be. I'm just very quiet and try and move and do things that I do because of the passion and the love that I have for what I do, and the love that I have for my city. And when I met Ahmed, when like he said, we met at this event, Black Professional Men event. He came out, and we've been friends ever since. And you don't get that kind of feel from everybody. And ever since I've met him, I've always felt this humbleness from him, this kind of just this passion for the people and for this city. And not everybody has that here in this city. And I have that same passion and the same love for this city because this is a great city. I don't care what anybody else says. With all the other stuff that goes on, I love this city. I'm from this city. And there's some great people in this city. And that's what, as they've said, that's what What's Up Baltimore is all about. And that was the birth of it, because we wanted to shine a light on those individuals that you're not going to see on mainstream TV. You're not going to hear about them on the news. You're not going to hear about them in other magazines. You're going to hear about them because of the great things that they do here in this city, what I call everyday, ordinary people that do extraordinary things.
Yes.
And when we started doing the magazine, or we thought about the articles and everything like that. Just the first issue, when you all read these articles and the people that are in here and the stories, when you did your interviews, and we didn't even talk about any of the interviews we did with the individuals. But when we started talking about the articles that we did, it was like, wow. I mean, and just the stories and the connections, and it just goes to show you that when God is in something, he's in something, and he's going to show you, it's going to be that divine connection. It's going to be that there's a reason for this. And we can, and I believe we say that there's a reason for this. There's a reason why the people that are in the magazine are in the magazine. And I'm appreciative for everyone who shared their story. I'm appreciative for the advertisers that believed enough in this magazine to say, yes, I wanna put my business in this magazine. So we thank you all, everybody, for coming out. We're appreciative. Please, you know, I don't give names. I'm not gonna give names because I forget somebody. So I just say everybody who was instrumental in putting What's Up Baltimore with Ahmed, with having that initial idea and bringing us in to say, hey, this is something that we need to do and should do, and that we'll be able to, you know, take in and show Baltimore in a different light that not everybody gets to see. So thank you.
Thank you.
So one more thing I forgot to say, which somebody asked me, where did this name, the What Up Baltimore name, come from? The name came from me being a Black mom, and I was really frustrated because in 2019, by the end of the year, we had so many young Black men who had been killed, and the crimes were they never found who the killers were or anything. And at the time, my son was away at college, and I was just totally frustrated. So I laid across my bed, and I was just like, I turned on my camera, my Facebook, and I was just like, what's up, Baltimore? Like, I'm just sick of this. And I started like venting, you know? And that was in December 16th, 2019, I'll never forget. And I was saying that I was glad my son was away, and I was just going on and on. So while I was laying across the bed, like really venting, and people were commenting and saying all kinds of stuff, the next day, I was walking through Columbia Mall, and a politician called me. And he said, hey, I like your What Up Baltimore show. He said, could is there any way that I can get on? And I was thinking to myself, it's not really a show. Like, I was laying across my bed doing that. So I really honestly pretended like I had a show. And I said, let's set up a date. Now, mind you, I'm sitting in Columbia Mall on like a I don't know, a trash can or something. I was sitting there, and I started like taking notes. And so from that one politician in December, that opened the door. And this is the thing, I didn't have a studio. I was doing my shows from my home because, now it's digital. My station at the time is in Phoenix, Arizona. So I was actually doing my shows from home. So after the one politician, I was honest with him. I said, I don't have a physical station. Is it okay for you to come to my house? He came to my house. So ever since then, from 2019 up until Election Day 2020, I did nothing but interview politicians, delegates, senators, congressmen, and most of them came to my house, and they had their security guys at the door. And the show, I just started doing the show called What Up Baltimore. And that's how the name was created. That's how it came about. And so now the show is known as the show where politicians come on. And I didn't know a lot about politics, so I had to brush up on it. But that's what happened, and that's how that name came about for What Up Baltimore. So I'm really excited to see that go from this to a magazine. So next we want to bring up Mr. Irfan. Come on out. This gentleman, oh man, I told you inspired me. You inspired me. I have to tell you what happened later, but I went to his place to interview him, and he's so humble. Like, he is so humble. And then he said to me, he told the guy that worked for him to walk me around to see his warehouse. And I was blown away because I thought I was in Walmart. Like, the warehouse is so huge, and it didn't look like that from where we were sitting. But he was so humble, and he gave me such great advice through his interview. And just hearing his story, you'll read it in the magazine of how he created his business. And the thing was, as I'm interviewing him, I saw the sign over his head, and I was like, where have I seen this before? I order a lot of equipment, and I have these equipment at my house that I ordered. So I'm sitting there interviewing him, but thank you so much for allowing me to interview you, and just give us a few words.
Only thing, I'm not a black. I just only 20 years back. I just came in this country, and struggle is there. Just everybody do. I did my struggle, But the only good thing which I feel that I'm very close to Baltimore, which is I called 10 years back Charm City. I think it's still Charm City. And especially the charming girls, introduced me with you guys, So 10 years back, I started my business in Baltimore City. And that's very simple. I never tell anybody, but I say from Patapsco Flea Market, which is in Baltimore City area, I started my business with $10,000. In 10 years, my company is now worth $10 million. So money is not a point where it makes a money. It is a right path and the way you struggle. So I'm telling to Baltimore City that Baltimore City is not a poor. It's look like a poor because you don't take a proper path. The people are Baltimore, they are forget what their path is, If they go in the proper way, I can give you guarantee. It's a still charm city and it can be a much bigger city the way it is, And now having a big company, a businessman, I did not forget my base. I still have my shop in Patapsco Flea Market, which telling me where I started, So the only thing is coming in my mind like this way, now where I am, I really want to do something for Baltimore City, which I try as a social worker, as a community, helping person, and my company is available. Anything for that, I'm available for that purpose. And thank you very much, LadyJ and future, Oprah for Baltimore City to introduce me here, and I'm always available. My friend King is always there. If you don't, directly contact me, contact him and he can contact me. And we are always here for the better Baltimore. Every life matters and Baltimore City life is mattering. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Irfan, Ahmed, and some other friends, they actually did a really beautiful giveaway for Christmas. They had, John was there too. They were giving away brand new suits with tags on them, the shirts, everything was new. It wasn't used stuff. Boxes of food, blankets, all kinds of stuff. And when I was looking at them, I was thinking, they could be doing anything. They don't have to be out here, but they were in the community giving away stuff. And so, thank you guys for doing that, because one of the people that I interviewed, his son had just come home from the hospital, and he had a newborn, and he was saying he didn't even have enough money to buy his son a blanket. And so when he walked up, he actually saw the blankets there, and he was so excited. And they gave him looked like 2 or 3 blankets, and he couldn't wait to get home. He said, I just can't wait to go home to wrap my baby up. So we never know what people are going through, but thank you so much for giving. They gave away a lot of stuff that day, a lot of stuff. So next we want to call up Miss Van. Come on up, Miss Van. So let me tell you about Miss Van as she's coming. Again, I talk to everybody. That's why I call myself the Buddafly, because I talk to everybody. But we were, I was actually at a rally. I was covering an event downtown, and I met a lady from People's Power Assembly, right? Mm-hmm. People's Power Assembly, and she was an older white woman, and I was thinking she's probably just here, just tough. But something told me to go over and talk to her. And I went over and we started talking, and her and I just instantly connected. And we exchanged numbers, and I told her, if you ever need me to do anything for you to cover what you're doing, please call me. Well, that turned into her. I went to another event to cover her event, and Van was there. For those of you who don't know, Van's husband has been falsely incarcerated, wrongly convicted, and he's been in prison for 18 years. And it has been proven that he did not commit the crime. And so she is still, especially last year, because the officer who actually locked him up got locked up. And it came out that he had put a lot of Black men in prison who didn't commit crimes. So she's been fighting for her husband, and you'll read her story in the magazine. But I was just drawn to her at the rally that we went to. So I'm gonna let you say a few words, Van.
It's an honor to be here, especially with my sisters. When I connected with Lady J and I went to the studio, I got this kind of vibe that I was like, I don't belong here. So that's because I met Michelle before I wound up meeting Lady J. It all happened because I had a stroke and she got too many steps. And I said, can I sit on this chair and go up the step? She came down there, she said, I don't know what's wrong with this chair. Maybe you did something to the chair. And I said, you know what? Don't worry, I'll walk up the step. So I get up the step and I see this big old smile. It was Lady J, and she was sitting there and she was looking at me as to say, what's wrong? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the show and then I'm not ever coming back here. So she was looking at me and she said, we'll talk later. I said, okay. So, I did the show, had no idea what I was doing. I just did the show. And then when the cameras came on and the lights came on, I said, this is real. I got to do something. Just start talking and just start talking about, what you're going through and just talk about, your husband. And that's what I did. I just kept the whole thing about my husband. So my husband has been convicted of a crime that he did not do. And the codes in the streets is you don't tell. So that's what happened. He didn't tell. He chose to go to jail because he didn't want to jeopardize myself, his children, his family. He's a 54-year-old man, went to jail. I still stay by his side. It's been 19 years now. So I paid 2 attorneys. The first attorney was $10,000. That did absolutely nothing. He threw my husband, and I trusted him because he was an attorney. I know nothing about the law. I just trusted in getting these attorneys. The second one was $7,000. I paid them. Remind you, I'm working and I'm just not seeing my paychecks. I'm just giving them all to them and I'm losing. Now I'm looking at my bank account. Now everything is empty. Now I'm like, what do I do? But at the meantime, I was writing. So I let her write, I let her read. So I started writing. But the second attorney, he actually was, he got arrested. So he never got a chance to finish my husband's case.
Oh my God.
He got arrested. And then later down the line, I wound up going back years later to the first attorney who represented him. And he told me, it's nothing I could do. I said, I feel like you owe me this because you ran out the Judge Chambers' office and you couldn't confront us. I feel like you need to, step up and try to get him out. Then I reached out to him recently because the sergeant, his name is James Lloyd, who was on the case of Sean Suter. Well, he got arrested for extortion, kidnapping on a man that built houses, fixed houses, landscaping, all of that. And he used his badge on this man, something that I was trying to prove what he was originally doing the whole time to people that really didn't commit a crime. And I just been fighting for my husband like every single day, literally fighting. It's drainful. It gets to the point where I want to throw the towel in, but I didn't, and I don't, and I keep doing what I have to do to set him free. We've been together for 22 years. We got married a year to him going to prison. We didn't really spend time together being married. Just like maybe a year into before he went into incarceration. I don't know, lost for words right now, but I'm not really a speaker, y'all. But sometimes talking about it, it's just like I just get so sentimental about it. But I'm fighting for him to come home. I want him to come home. He's now found out now that he has cancer. So the Maryland Mosley office told me to get his medical papers. I did that, presented them to her. She gives me this application saying, fill it out. It was almost a book, but I did it because it's called the litigation program, where they help them get out on, I think, medical leave or some kind of innocent program that they have. So that's in the place. The PPA is strongly behind me. Ms. Joyce herself is, she's not in the book, but she's here and has been an excellent supporter that sticks beside me, as well as Lady J. So the PPA is basically behind me, and they're doing everything that they can do as far as writing the mayor, the state's attorney, and other people that needs to be, involved. So I just spoke to him on the way here, and I wish he could have called to speak to Lady J, because he wanted to be on the Skype. They let him call every now and then on Skype because of medical. But he was offered actually 45 years on a crime. First it was 10, and then because he didn't take the 10, they gave him 45 years with a lawyer. So again, he's 55 years old, just trying to get out. We have children, grandkids he haven't seen yet. He talks to them on the phone. We can't see him on Skype because it's limited of, who we can call out on the Skype and the phone. So, but I talk to him every day that I can, every day that I will. It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, everybody.
For sharing your story with us.
Behind you.
Thank you.
So let's keep her husband, Duryea, in prayer, Duryea Green, and especially now because he has cancer. So her hope is to bring him home. So next, we have, I want to introduce Miss Joyce in the back. This is Miss Joyce in the back. She's actually the one that Van was mentioning, who's supporting her through this thing with going process with her husband. So thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting Van. So next we have Mr. John and Shalonda Hansberg. We're gonna have them come up. Now, trying to think how we met, John. Oh, right. I had somebody on my show who introduced me to a guy that John knows. Kevin and I just clicked when we met. And then Kevin introduced me to John. And for those of you who don't know, I am a bookworm. I love books. So as soon as you say books, I'm like, ping. I'm just like, so he told me he had books. He does poetry, which I love. And we all had a meeting one day and we talked. And then he introduced me to his beautiful wife. So it's been a great connection. I asked permission of him and his wife if they would be in the magazine, because I'm not going to tell you about their story. You have to read about their incredible journey.
And buy the magazine.
And buy the magazine and buy the book. Okay? Yes. Buy the magazine and buy his book. So come on up, Shalonda, come on up. Come on.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. I so appreciate you, Lady J. You as well. I know you're working hard. I want to give. I'm just so excited. You know what I mean? My lovely wife, Shalonda Hansberg. Hearing the stories that I've heard from just coming in here, sitting down, listening, just does something that keeps me doing what I do, makes me put things down on paper. Writing is a passion of mine that I've had ever since I can remember. So my wife and I went through some things in our marriage. We got married in 2008. We have two beautiful daughters who are now 11 and 9. And we went through some things, some life-changing things in our marriage. So once I was able to get permission from my wife to put our business out there in the street, she was okay with it. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And at first it was a stage play. And then it turned into something that I wanted to make even more personalized. So I really used the people who it really was about. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on any one of my social sites. You can find it on Buddafly Entertainment. I want to thank Leroy McKenzie and Ahmed Rana.
Thank you.
I forgot the other gentleman's name. I'm so sorry.
Jacob.
I don't know if it was Jacob. Was it another one sitting there too?
That's Leroy right here. His real name is Irfan Yaqub.
Okay, him.
But nickname is Jacob.
Yes, I want to thank him. I want to thank Van.
And he's not black.
I want to thank Van. I'm gonna hurry because I want my wife to speak for a second. I want to thank Van. I want to thank everybody here because, you know, when you're passionate, I'm a passionate person. You know what I mean? And when you're passionate and you surround yourself with others who are passionate, nothing, you know, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So I'm like a kid in a candy store. I just soak it all in. I try to be around as many people who are on the same trajectory that I believe that I'm trying to get to, so we can all get there together. You know, you may know something that can help me. But before we sit down, I would like my lovely wife, Shalonda, to say just a few words really fast.
Good evening, everyone.
evening.
I just want to say thank you to Lady J for having us on her showcase. Oh, thank you, honey. I wanted to say, I appreciate my husband's support because he knows I need to focus where I am. But I'm a singer. I started out as an opera singer, and I retired from opera in, I'm not gonna tell my age, some time ago. And I basically said, you know, I wasn't gonna be singing at all anymore. But then one day I met my husband, and he heard a few of the things that I used to do, and he's just like, well, if you don't have to sing opera, you can just sing this. Here, sing this song. I mean, he was just pulling things from everywhere. He was just like, you really can't just sit on this. You have to do something. So from the time I met him in 2008, and I really was retired due to injury. So it wasn't that, you know, I just didn't want to. It's because the mechanism was just not working. But after I met my husband, I released my first single in 2014. I was the lead praise and worship leader at my church and churches around. And I started performing live music with my own band that we put together that would consist of many different things, not just music, but poetry. My husband did. We incorporated it into the music. But just to bring it on back is that you never know who is looking at you that will be able to support your gift. Your job is to work on it and be humble, because I'm still singing. I'm still singing and teaching, and this is almost the worst time for performers at this point because our income comes by being in public, and the more people you sing for, the more money you get typically. So it's really, you know, slicing everything that I started working on in half. But I am determined, and I know that with faith, love, and support, anything is possible. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So make sure that everyone, I think I got everybody. I don't know your name, sir, in the back.
Troy Mobley.
Oh, Troy?
Yes, Troy Mobley, Nature's Connected.
Troy Mobley is here.
Yes.
So we want to thank you for coming out. He said no. So anyway, do you want to say something about Junaid? Because he doesn't want to say anything, but
Say it again?
you did his story, right?
No, he's one that I was.
No, Junaid, you did his story.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
You want to say a little bit about
yeah, I'll
that?
say a little bit.
Okay, because he doesn't want to come up.
Yeah.
We want to acknowledge
And
everybody.
that's just to him, and I won't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be long with it, but sitting down with him and hearing his story, and I've told everybody this because you told me, and just one of the things that I learned about business, and I've spoken about this, that here in Baltimore, and I think all over, I believe he said, but when he started his business, and you have to read the article to get his full story, but one of the things that he told me was he was looking for a way to stand out here in Baltimore. And he saw that everybody else was doing just the regular fried chicken. And he created or had the idea of using the 30 flavors of different kinds of the wings. So whenever y'all go to any of these other restaurants and you think about, you go, well, which one do I do? I want barbecue wings? Do I want honey barbecue? Do I want honey Old Bay, which is my favorite? This is the gentleman that created that idea right there. So here, and everybody, as he told me, everybody started doing that after he started doing it, and it was a way that he stood out from everybody else because he was the only one that you could go to and get different flavors of the different wings. So when y'all see that, I was just sitting there in awe of his story, how he came here, started here, and everything. So I appreciate you sharing your story. It was truly inspirational to me, and I know that those that will read it will be inspired by it too. So thank you.
Thank you for having us here at the restaurant
absolutely.
also.
Yes, this is his
You all
restaurant,
can't
y'all.
see it, but the restaurant is beautiful and the food looks good. So everybody, thank you so much for watching us. My name is Lady J. This is Leroy McKenzie. Ahmed he's out of the room. But anyway, Ahmed is right here. This is Ahmed. But thank you so much. Make sure you get the magazine. We take Cash App, we take PayPal. I'll put all of that information in the comments so you can get the magazine. They're pretty much sold out. We are working on the February magazine. And those of you who follow me, and I think Leroy is the same, we don't advertise. You pretty much see it when it comes out. So you'll be surprised at the February magazine, who's going to be in it, what it's going to look like. After February, we will be going to bi-monthly, right? Bi-monthly, yeah. And we'll do a March, April issue, and then, May, June, and we'll do it that way. But we're going to do a special edition, What Up Baltimore, February magazine, and that's going to be coming out soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure y'all follow that Buddafly, like I tell you, because you don't know where she's going to land. And we will see you next time. We're getting ready to eat. Sorry you can't join us. And everybody else, thank you so much for coming out. Congratulations to everybody who wins the first edition of the magazine. And thank you so much. Hey, Gilbert Bell, my brother in New York.